All right, do you guys want to see this? Hello YouTube. So I'm doing pretty good with uploading, and I'm also doing another absolute blessing. The Hellrot sedan, it still sits in my driveway. 2.5 years, I don't know, 2.5 years it's been sitting here and not running. Well, it's gonna happen. You know, a lot of projects finally got to it. Honestly, I just didn't want to spend the money on it, and it's kind of clapped, but enjoy this video. Hopefully I didn't make it too long because people say I talk too much. I'm sorry. So as you guys know, I'm gonna need an engine. So we come over here to my engine collection. One's missing, but I'll show you that in a minute. I have a B30 here, aluminum. Nah, it's going. It was burning a quart every 50 miles anyways. It's going. Not using it. And then I have a M52 B28 right here, iron block. This was the second engine I put in my coupe, and I hit 20 pounds on it. Yeah, because I had this cheap boost gauge, and I thought it was just wrong, but I was actually hitting 20 pounds in it. Ringland's gone. That is a good block though, has a good head on it. Here's another M52 B28. This is the engine that was in the red car that was forged, and it was actually making who knows how much power on 28 pounds of boost on the 85, but we're not ready for that. Oh yeah, this rusty, trusty, hopefully, M52 B28, another one. And this has a questionable story. I bought a 5 Series for $500 from my guy, and he said he lost the keys to it and he didn't have a title, and it sat for 10 years without ever starting because he lost the keys and the title. Now I know what you guys are thinking, but I don't know. We won't go there. We won't talk about that. I bought it for $500, the car, and I ended up doing an EWS delete on it. I actually had to flash the car. It's kind of funny because this car was disgusting, molded out, had a bunch of water in it. But I ended up starting it with like a flathead screwdriver because I destroyed the tumbler on it and ended up getting this thing to start. I drove it around the yard for about 5 minutes, and it was crazy because it started right up once I got past all the EWS stuff and starting it with a screwdriver. And I shut it off after maybe 5 minutes of running, if that, and I pulled it and gave the car away for free. The oil pan is off. This thing is, it is just covered in sludge, which, you know, those are the best engines probably, you know, but it did sit for 10 years. So where the oil sat, it sat there for a long time and it turned to crap. I don't know. I don't remember the miles on this. I need to look that up. Look through some pictures, but check this out. You know, I might ball out and buy a chain, but the pickup tube is missing because if you know, you put one of these engines in an E46 and you want to use the stock E46 pan, you get a pickup tube from a M52 B28 that was out of a 5 Series. So I need to find that because, well, it is not the one in that car. I think the one in that car is from the block I had in my red car. I have a bin of parts, well, about 100 bins of parts, but I know I kept that because those are hard to come by for some odd reason. Yeah, I don't use this much, but when I do, it's on these bolts right here. So that is awesome. Hopefully, yep. I got a new front main and rear main, everything coming. Well, all in my cart on FCP Euro, because if this passes a compression test, then I'll order all that. This thing is disgusting. I don't really think it's a good idea, but I mean, if it runs, it runs. I don't think it has a blown head gasket. At what point do you say this is probably not the best idea? Like, I could probably sell these crystals right here. People really like crystals, and those aren't supposed to be in there. I mean, it sat for a really long time, but I've never opened one of these that look like this. I mean, I don't want to give up. All right, so a little tip for you guys. I gotta check compression on that engine. Cut one of these off in automatic. Next time you throw one in the junkyard, cut this off so you can mount your starter. I've used this a few times to save my butt. Now, I've been looking for a starter, and I remember this one is actually in here. Oh yeah, don't forget, natural brown, but it looks like crap. Pretty rough in here. It's dirty too. I do have a starter in here. We're gonna use this guy. All right, so I have the powerhouse powering my compression setup. You know, there's other ways to do this, but this is how we're gonna do this. Everything's oiled, and plus it has enough sludge on it anyways to where I probably didn't even need to oil it. But I'm gonna go ahead and do a compression test on this. It's questionable. It's way too good. Let's try that again. Does anyone know why it's making infinite? Let's try cylinder 2. What am I doing wrong? So this might not be a good test. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but cylinder 1 and 2 just showed like 270 PSI. Pretty sure it's supposed to be what, around like 180 if I remember correctly. We'll try 3. I think this isn't a very accurate demonstration. I don't know. Okay. Cylinder 4? We're gonna make 300 with cylinder 4? Oh no. Well, cylinder 4 was super questionable. I don't understand that. We made 270 to 300 PSI on the first 3 cylinders. I don't really get that. And then we make 120 on cylinder 4. So we go cylinder 5. What we got on cylinder 5? Whatever you want it to be. It'll probably go past 300, but okay, let this out. Cylinder 6. We can make whatever we want on cylinder 6. Well, that's enough for me. I'm gonna make my FCP Euro order and do all the seals besides the head gasket. Yeah, check out that starter setup. But yeah, if you wanna take a gander here at the trays at all the sludge and stuff, like look at that, that's incredible. I'm just gonna have to do like 3 oil changes in the first 100 miles or less. All right, little update. So I just did that compression test and I was like, cylinder 4 wasn't pumping up like these other 5, and then I went back to it and tried again and it did. So these things all like went well and beyond what they're supposed to even be reading. And part of that reason probably is because I pre-lubed all these cylinders because this engine had been sitting. Next thing is I'm gonna get this oil filter housing off of here. This one over here, this was the old red car engine, so obviously I'm gonna be using a lot of stuff. It has a new water pump, new pulleys on it, new alternator, power steering pump, I don't know, but it works, that's all that matters. I'm gonna take this off here. It also has the OBD2 sensors, stuff like that, things that you need if you're gonna use an MS43 harness on an iron block. This is a oil pressure gauge here. I got my turbo feed line, all that. I'm gonna take this whole assembly off of here and put it on the iron block. Also, once I get this changed out, Alex Grove told me I need to check a rod bearing cap. I don't want to, all right? He said I should. He's probably right. You know, maybe I should. I'm just gonna check one, and I'm gonna assume the other rod cap bearings, or the other bearings are fine. I'm gonna pull one cap and check the bearing, and if it looks good, hopefully it does. I really hope it does. I'm just gonna run it because, you know, once again, this is just to get this car back on the road. Oh, that's just a big blob of oil. I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it'll make it a year. That's kind of the goal here, to make it a year. Yeah. I mean, could be better. Probably just like put it back on there and not worry about it, maybe something like that. All right, so we're gonna forget about that rod bearing because, you know, it's fine. It ran before, you know. So basically, that's one of those deals. You just put it back. Try not to think about it. But I actually had to go back to one of my old videos. It's been a while. This is a temperature sensor out of an M54 block for MS43. This is the sensor that comes with it on these engines. It's for whatever, MS41 or whatever it is. I don't know anything about it. But then there's this barb that sits in here. And on my old video, I mentioned you just keep that in there and you loop from this skinny metal line to there. Well, just thinking back and everything about how once you put the PPF intake manifold on there, it's huge. And then you just have more crap under here. So here's my ghetto fix. Once you put your sensor you actually want to use in here for your E46 and MS43, this is the one he took out. So, you know, it has a crush washer and everything like that. You could just like, I thought it was gonna look really stupid for a minute. Look like the right threads. Just plug it with that one, right? There's some backyard mechanic crap right here. Also, while we're in here though, you wanna cap this one off too. So you can cut it back here so you can keep your bracket. Cut it back here. I put a bolt in it and then I weld around it. And then all you need off this pipe is here, this one. So do not touch that. Keep that one the way it is. Clean. Just like that. Just like that. It's that easy, guys. Don't overthink it. I hope that works. All right, so I just did something a little different. I was going to plug them with this and weld all the way around it, and then this little one here on the little pipe, but doing my welder screaming, I end up pinching both of these in the vise and just welding, please focus, straight across and straight across. I'm about to put air to it and see if it leaks. Should be fine, but I don't know. I don't really know. Either way, it's not really that clean, but it'll be under the manifold. Okay, so a whole bunch of new parts went on here. You see all this old crap I just started. I put a new spring in it for the tensioner of the timing chain. And then previously I showed you this, which is, I'd say that's a little extreme. You're always gonna have a little bit on these, but this one here is actually probably one of the worst ones I've had. So I will be using this oil pump chain. It's kind of sketchy, maybe not. I haven't really read anything bad about it. It is the split oil pump chain with the master link. So we're gonna run it. I would not use this if I was building an engine, because if I was building an engine, I would have this timing cover off and I would just put a new chain on there. But we're not taking this off because I am, fingers crossed, still hoping that this head gasket is good. And if you guys know, the head gasket smashes between the timing cover also. So I'm not gonna touch it. Got a new front main on here, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Just wanted to show you guys that part. Professional Hellrot garage work here only. We got a tack 180 off so it doesn't lose balance because it's a airplane engine. This thing that spins so fast it might lose balance from one tack. Just kidding, I'm just screwing with you guys. No, it's probably isn't the best way to do this. Yes, I've done, I don't know, 15 maybe? I don't know, 15 different engines probably total, maybe more than that because I've done other people's like this too. So it'll be all right. This is one of those things too, just like that rod bearing. you'll just forget about it. This feels like a brand new one. It's holding its own. It's not drooping on one side like they always do. So, the reason, I don't know, 10,000 of you probably, I'd say, I have an absolute mess. Follow me is because, well, I have a Hellrot car and my channel's called Hellrot Garage. I don't even show my Hellrot car anymore. So, oh my God, you know that ladder I just moved? Yeah, just smashed my engine that I was gonna show you guys. Okay, so here we go. And you open this hood and you're like, who in the world built this car? Yeah. And it gets worse because I'm like, it's been 3 years. Like, what is this? This thing never even caught fire on me. Well, it did once down in here, but I didn't know it. Okay, so I have the oil pan on, the PPF manifold on. Turbo just mocked up. I'm gonna take it off. But I wanted to rebuild Vanos on this, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna wait until it's in the car so it's 10 times harder to do it. This car has just been absolutely rotting out here. I mean, look at this. It was never like this before. This brand new carbon fiber trunk I put on it before this car blew up is completely toasted. I mean, I need to sand it down and clear it. And then I got musk overs on it. Like, that is something I always wanted too. And I never even ran the car with musk overs on it and they need painted. I mean, dumb me when I was 16. Classy dipped the trim and I really wish it was chrome now. More clear coat gone. Oh my Lord, like, we're putting an engine in it, we're doing it. And we're putting a super expensive turbo kit on it. Like, how stupid. And the starter, brand new. I didn't unbolt it because you guys know when you unbolt it, how it just like breaks the freaking plastic off the starter. And then it was a brand new slave there. It's all rusty. There's a lot of new friends in here, but we're gonna just put this engine in. I don't care. Everything else, touch-ups, I'm just gonna have to struggle and do it in the car because I think the fastest way to motivate me to keep going is to get this engine in here. Bolt this valve cover down. I have a brand new valve cover gasket. I worked on this like a month ago. This video is split up into 2 parts because I had projects in between, okay, to be fair. We're gonna be using the single Vanos one, yes. All right. This car needs a radiator because I stole the radiator out of it and it has no cooling system. So that's what I was working on. I just gotta catch up to what I was doing. That's why I'm saying I'm gonna go ahead and put this engine in where I'm forced to just move forward. Now I put the spark plugs in, and what's gonna be really fun about this turbo being the size of my head is when you do a valve cover on it in the car, you're not gonna be able to get it up. So, I think what I'm getting to here is I'm gonna get the angle grinder out. I was actually just gonna show you guys to make sure that the casting in this wasn't blocked off, which I can't, there. It's not. That's the biggest thing with your Amazon valve cover. All right, if you guys remember, I got the valve cover on and I did a lot of trimming. I took out this whole section here and then I took out this entire section to here. That way when I make a downpipe, hopefully I have more clearance because you can see what I'm dealing with. And then if you remember, these PPF engine mounts, they set the car at a different angle so that you can run big turbo setups and stuff. It's gonna mess up the transmission and everything though. We're gonna try to set this engine in the car without the transmission on it. I'm gonna be putting a 420G on this car from an M3, but we're gonna set this in there because these are E36 mounts and see if it fits an E46. I don't know. Might have to be cutting these in half and extending them. And I don't want to do that, but we're gonna see what we can do here. Trying to line this engine up right now. And dude, I found a whole family in here or something. Oh, I don't know. But these are E46 mounts, like I said. Ugh. Try to stand up here. So it's weird putting this engine in because it sits different. So it is it's enough to make this different than usual. I have ratchet straps going everywhere. So I have this one lined up here. Look at this room I already have here. And it's not even sat down over there. So it's gonna stand up more and open up a ton of room. I'm not sure if it's enough though for the turbo to fit yet. I'm having issues because these AM lines are annoying. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's gonna be close. I think if I loosen, the mounts are tight to the subframe right now. Those Condor mounts are. So I'm gonna loosen the bottoms of them so they have play and line them all up. And I think these are close enough to where they will fit. It's a little bit of a struggle, but I can't wait to see how it actually sits. All right, let's ignore all the other things that are living in here at the moment, but it did line up. I had to have both the engine mounts really loose so they could move around a lot. And I got them in, engine over subframe and steering rack clearing fine. Now, I don't know if these Condor mounts are tall, like taller than stock. I'm not really sure. It's kind of hard to judge anything now since these mounts are going to make the car sit at a different angle. But everything does clear at this angle. I can't really show you the other one, but it's back in there. You see the Condor mount there in the arm. It's all bolted up. All right. I don't even know what I'm looking at right now, but I put the turbo on it and the intake on it. And I don't know why I've held on to this stuff for 2 years and never did this. Oh, dirty. I guess I'll show you guys. All right, do you guys want to see this? Bam. I mean, it's a pretty big turbo, I'd say. And look at all this room for a downpipe. Everything's loose right now. The only thing tightened down is the turbo manifold to the block and the engine mounts to the car. That's the only thing tight. And then I only have 2 studs tight on this intake. But look how crazy this looks. Here's a better view if you're familiar with these cars. That manifold is beautiful. Everything's beautiful besides the 250,000 mile M52 that's in there. Fingers crossed. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but I posted a video like a year ago about this kit and how it sits at a 20-degree angle. So this intake and turbo manifold and engine mounts, all that is basically together meant to sit at this angle. I don't really know what would happen if you just put these arms on one of these engines and didn't have the matching manifold and stuff. I'm guessing your manifold would stick up really high. I don't know if I'm looking at that right, but I do have to pull this engine back out. I was just curious about the engine mounts, if they worked on E46. We have confirmed they do. Now, I have to pull this out because of that wastegate port there, because I'm going to have to weld a V-band on it or come straight off of it. I have to figure out where I'm going to put that yet. So there will be probably a decent amount of videos over this car before it actually runs. But I got tired of seeing it sitting, and the longer it sits, the more it rots. And I really got to do something. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm sorry that this car sat for so long. I'm sorry for the car. I'm mad at myself, but you know, I have a lot of BMW stuff going on, and that's a bad thing when you have a bunch of projects, because there's always that project that just dies, and this one kind of did. But we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And like I just said in the last clip, there's gonna be a lot of videos coming out of this before it actually runs. There's a lot of custom work that's gonna have to happen, and we're talking like custom work that I'm gonna do. So let's not make that sound fancy, because it's probably not gonna be fancy, but it's gonna work. I do know it's gonna work. So appreciate you guys for watching, and to the people that are excited about the Hellrot car, thank you for still even knowing that it exists, maybe. But thanks, guys.